Some LSU students are furious after finding out that French professor Adelaide Rousseau is returning to campus to teach next semester. This comes after Rousseau withheld information regarding a sexual assault scandal involving one of her French TAs. The TA has since fled the country and returned back to France. E-cigarettes and vapes like these are supposed to help the customer quit traditional vaping, but many are finding themselves picking these up without ever touching an actual cigarette. Thanks, guys. That's right, Allie. I'm outside of Lockett Hall, where just yesterday a student was hit and knocked off of their bike by a Tiger Trails bus. That student was transported to Baton Rouge General and is currently in critical condition. Tiger TV will be providing you guys with any more updates that we get. Back to you guys at the studio. LSU's 3-point lead in their victory, 27-24 over Texas A&M tonight. Coach O let us know after the game that he will not be leading the team as head coach going into the postseason. Dodging cars and people, Brian Lewis rides his bike to work every single day. Using a mixture of bike paths and roadways to get from his home to work, Lewis says the commute can be troublesome at times depending on the city's level of traffic.
Other than here, I can't really ride the way I would like to.
Starting at Interstate 110, the Greenway path Lewis is referring to only spans 6 blocks before spitting Lewis back onto the street. He uses the bicycling path to get to work, and while he appreciates it, Lewis can't access the stretch of bike lanes without having to ride in the street dodging cars.
You might have a park area where they have little paths, right. But once that park area ends, that path ends as well.
Many of Baton Rouge's connecting streets are one lane, just like this one here, causing the cyclists to have to share the whole lane with the car, sometimes going 4 or 5 times faster than the bicycle. In the past 5 years, the percentage of bicyclists killed in Louisiana has increased from about 3.8% to 4.6%, according to the 2020 Louisiana Traffic Records Data Report. Back in 2015, officials deemed Baton Rouge a focus city for its prevalent bicycling problems.
The federal government, because of that, stepped in and said, you have to start addressing this issue because you're having too much of a loss of life.
4 years later, in 2019, Baton Rouge began addressing the issue with the implementation of the $1 billion Move BR plan. Bike Baton Rouge President Lindley Ferris and her team have worked closely with the city and Move BR to identify high-problem areas and come up with a pedestrian bike master plan, ultimately adding over 350 miles of bike lanes and paths.
We are looking particularly right now, there's a lot of talk about Highland Road, Lee, Perkins. That area is extremely high trafficked.
Nationally ranked as one of the deadliest streets for pedestrians and bicyclists, Florida Street is also part of the master plan. For those looking to get out and bike, remember, even with the addition of these bike lanes and paths, it's important to maintain 3 feet from motor vehicles and always wear a helmet. Reporting for Tiger TV, I'm Josh Bowering. Excessive usage of social media can have negative impacts on young adults that could lead to harmful addictions down the road. I had the opportunity to speak with Dr. Jamie Freeney of Mental Health America, who said if these addictions aren't curbed, they could change the way we perceive reality. Taking a moment to look up from your phone, you may notice everyone else is on theirs. And while living in the digital age has its perks, it also has its downfalls. The idea of 24/7 togetherness stems from social media apps like Twitter, Snapchat, and Instagram, and can come with health consequences. When asked if students had made an attempt to better their mental health by deleting these apps, most had, but ended up back on the platform shortly after.
In a moment I have.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorta. I remember I haven't deleted anything, but I did do like a rebrand kind of thing.
Cell phone addiction among college students is prevalent, which in turn can lead to sleep disturbance, anxiety, depression, and stress.
Whenever I felt it getting too toxic or I felt myself looking to get a response from someone, I was like, oh, I need to delete it because I just don't want to see that. And then I downloaded it again.
When surveyed, 64% of students reported re-downloading a social app after deleting it. 19% reported not re-downloading the app, while 17% reported never having deleted a social media platform. Dr. Jamie Freeney of Mental Health America says protecting your mental health while online is all about effectively setting boundaries for yourself.
Otherwise, you'll fall victim to it, and you will have a difficult time separating yourself, and you will find that your mind becomes dependent on that.
For those under 27 whose brains are still developing, it's critical to put the phone down when you can. Long-term effects can change the way you perceive real-life interactions.
But the influence that they're having is actually changing a person's life, essentially. because they're changing how neurons connect. They're changing how a person responds to a like.
Casual scrolling won't hurt, but it's important to learn healthy usage habits while you're ahead. Young adults should limit their screen time to less than 2 hours per day, according to readhealth.org.
That's a beautiful sound that balloon just made.
What started as a hobby, Louisiana native Omar Girona has turned his love for making tiki glasses into a six-figure business.
Once I found out about the mugs, I started creating them on my own here in my house, and somehow I've expanded that business into what it is today.
Self-taught through books and internet, Girona was able to start his small business, Oak Wash, in his own backyard just 2 years ago.
And since last summer, I've been full-time, and I now employ another person with me.
Since starting his business, Girona has expanded into a workshop located in his backyard. He says the want for the handmade mugs demanded more space than what he was originally working with.
My own personal stuff on top of client work, which is what you're seeing here, is just, it can be massive. We're talking thousands of mugs a year, and this is me in my first year doing this.
The small business has seen sales skyrocket over the past year and are happy to see such appreciation for the tiki community. Oak Wash mugs have been shipped worldwide and are even available for purchase at Disney World.
You know, a year ago, this was just a hobby. The interest was growing and growing, and the pandemic and all of the stress that it brought along with it helped me push myself to go full-time.
Girona says the pandemic brought Oak Wash a new set of clientele. People working on their own home bars and bars coming out of the pandemic wanting mugs flocked to the Louisiana-based business.
It's very interesting, to say the least. It's ups and downs. It's a different kind of business having a small ceramics business.
With only 2 people creating the mugs, there can be some back order. Sometimes mugs can take up to 3 months to arrive, but Girona says the process is worth the wait.
The biggest problem I have is you have to find a good balance because you want to make something that's really good and that people want to hold, but you don't want to make something that's too outrageous to where it's difficult to make a lot of.
While Oak Wash has made a name for itself, Girona has big plans for the future of his small business.
I think in 5 years, I'd love to have officially licensed merchandise sold throughout theme parks. I'd love to, continue making for bars across the United States, and I'd love to keep me and myself and the people I have employed.
You can check out Oak Wash's collection of handmade mugs at www.oakwash.com. Reporting for Tiger TV, I'm Josh Bowering.